Hello again. This is lesson 2 of chapter 1. Now, before we start, I want you to keep your books next to you, please, because we need them to refer them for some discussion. Now, let's talk about something which is mentioned in page 3 called the combining vowel. What is a combining vowel? A combining vowel is a vowel, usually O, added to the end of the root to combine a root to a root or a root to a suffix. So here he says we use the vowel O to combine. That's why it is called combining, and vowel because the O is a vowel. It is a combining vowel. So we use it sometimes to combine a vowel to a suffix or a root to a suffix or a root to a root. Now, why do we need that? Because sometimes if you combine two parts together, a root to a suffix, for example, or a root to a root, and the first part ends in a consonant and the second part starts in a consonant, it is difficult to pronounce the word in that case. Let's take an example. If you look at this one, hemat and logi. Hemat is a root and logi is a suffix. If you look at hemat, it ends in T, which is a consonant. And logi starts with an L, which is again a consonant. If you want to combine them together to make a medical term, it becomes hematology. Now, the pronunciation of this term, hematology, is a little bit difficult. So in this case, we need a vowel to make the pronunciation smoother and easier. That's why if you look at the full word after the arrow, hematology. Now you try to pronounce it, hematology. Which is easier to pronounce? Hematology or hematology? I think you will find the difference in pronunciation. So this is the reason why we use the combining vowel to make the pronunciation of a medical term easier. And where do we use it? We use it to combine a root to a root or a root to a suffix when both parts have consonants only at the end and at the beginning. Now, again talking about the combining vowel, sometimes it is not necessary to insert a combining vowel. This is what we said. If the pronunciation is easy, we do not need this vowel. So here he says, sometimes it is not necessary to insert a combining vowel when there is a vowel either at the end of the root or at the beginning of the suffix or the second root. Look at this example. Here we are combining a root to a suffix. Arthur, which is a root, and algia is a suffix. Arthur, it ends in a consonant, which is the R, but the suffix algia starts with a vowel. So here there is no need for the combining vowel because the pronunciation is easy. So if you look at the full term, it is pronounced as arthralgia. So the pronunciation is easy. In this case, there is no need for the vowel O. However, there are some exceptions to the rule. The rule says that we have to use a combining vowel, which is O, if the root ends in a consonant and the following root or suffix starts in a consonant. But here we have an exception. As you can see, ost ends in a vowel, and arth, which is another root, start in a vowel. But if you look at the full term, there is a combining vowel in between. So this is an exception. And when we say an exception, we mean that we understand that the number of exceptions is few. So they are not many. And in this case, we have to learn the terms as they are. If they are exceptions, we have to accept that, and we learn them by heart as exceptions. Now, let's talk about the combining form. The combining form here means the name given to a root that is followed by a combining vowel. Because you remember when we talked about the combining vowel, we said that it is the vowel O added to the end of the root. So when we add the vowel O to the end of the root, this combination is called combining form. And this is how we write it. So we have Arthur is a root. If you add an O to it, we write it with a slash in between. So Arthur slash O. This total, let's say, part is called combining form. Hemat is another root. If you write it with a slash and O after, this is called combining form. And actually, this is the form in which we should write the roots when they are written by themselves, not within a word. If we want to write a root by itself, not within a full term, we write it in this form. We write the root itself, then a slash, and then O after that, which is called a combining form. Now, on page 6, look at your books now. Maybe you can open your books on page 6. We have some medical terms. We want to see how they are divided or broken down into their parts, and how we form the meaning by putting the meanings of the parts together. Let's look at the first one, colostomy. Here we have col, which is a root, and the O here, as you can see, is the combining vowel, and stomy is the suffix. Now, as we have learned before, we said that when we want to write the full meaning of the term, we have to start with the meaning of the suffix. So what is the meaning of the suffix here? It is make a new opening. Make a new opening. So we put it at the beginning. Make a new opening. Where to make that new opening? In the colon. The meaning of col is colon. So the full meaning would be making a new opening in the colon. Now on page 7, if you turn your books or open your books on page 7, on top you can see some practice for learning there. We have some questions here. The first one says underline the suffix in the following words, and the number 2 says underline the prefix in the following words. So you have to go through these and answer the questions, and then check your answers from the box which is below them. On page 8, there are some roots and suffixes and prefixes. You have to go through them, learn them by heart, learn their meanings again. And these are very important actually, because you will come across them all through the coming chapters. So you need to be familiar with them. Now, pages from 8 to 11, we have review exercises. You have to do these exercises. The exercises will be uploaded to you on the platform Schoology. Please complete the exercises from exercise 1.1 to 1.6 and then send them back to me. If it is not possible for you to send them through the same platform, maybe you can send them to me through an email. I will provide you with my email for such exercises. The answer key will be uploaded later for you to check your answers.